Hello, everybody. The Edmonton Oilers, they are back at home for a 5-game homestand where hopefully they can make up some ground in the NHL standings. Unfortunately, tonight they kick off that homestand against the hottest team in the entire NHL in the Minnesota Wild, not mild, as our pal Liam Horban loves to call them. I believe the Wild have won 9 of their last 11, 8-0-2 in their last 10. They're red hot, but the Edmonton Oilers, they're looking to turn a page, turn the corner as we get set for 5 consecutive games on Rogers Place ice. Oilers, Wild Oilers should be a good one, and I have a very special guest with me here this evening. But before that, hello, what up, and welcome. Pregaming is, of course, a presentation of Bet365. Got to pay the bills. Download the app today because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus. Please play responsibly. I am just delighted, honored, whatever word you want to use, to be joined by Oilersnation writer Michael Menzies, and literally might be one of the funniest dudes I've ever met. I am so excited to get to pre and post with you and our pal Brett Holden, who's back. Took the weekend off on Saturday, had a good little wedding weekend.
I'm still buzzing
like
from
that?
Chris Berman.
What?
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Shout out Drake May as you see my new shirt here as well. Menzies is actually a New York Giants fan. So
a suffering New York Giants fan. All I have is wins over the New England Patriots, and we couldn't even do that despite having 8 wins back of the Pats. And we have our butt fumble. We had our butt fumble last night with Younghoe Koo getting loosied with the football a la Charlie Brown. So it wasn't a good night last night.
It was a great night for me. It was a great night for Drake May. I love that Menzies is a Giants fan because I was nervous last night being like, it's a trap game written all over it. And if there's one franchise, one fan base that I will not fuck with in the NFL, it's the New York Giants. It's the Eli Manning face that still gives me nightmares from time to time. But Menzies, this is not your first appearance on Pregaming.
No.
But it's your first Pregaming with Bordzy, as you were here with Liam when I was out on vacation. I tuned into that one because I was like, I got to know what he's like. I got to know what he was like. And I was chuckling the entire time. I'm so excited to have you down here. Have you down at Dogpatch tonight, too. So free meal for the boys.
Well, exactly. Free meal. Not a seat to be had. I mean, except for there's some reserved. I mean, it is packed, bumping here as the Oilers begin on this 5-game homestand. This is exciting times. It's not doom and gloom because what do the Oilers do after a silly home loss? They go out and smack the Seattle Kraken, and so they're back home, and things are good against the Minnesota Wild. So
it is wild how much the Edmonton Oilers like, and I don't even want them to. I'm actively trying for them not to control my entire mood. On Saturday, it was nice. For me, obviously, he's a pre-post guy. I love a good Saturday or Sunday afternoon matinee because it gives you the evening. But the rest of Saturday, I had a pep in my step. I was feeling good. Stuart Skinner shutout. The leaders of the Edmonton Oilers put down a goal and an assist each. There you see it on your screen.
Yeah.
The big dogs came to play. The big dogs were barking after their leadership was questioned on social media, but we don't need to get into that. Dogpatch.
LOL.
Dude, it was awesome. I bet heavy on Leon Draisaitl because I was like, if he's commenting shit like that during the day or the day before, he's getting pissy. He's stewing in his head. And Leon Draisaitl, I like him again this evening against the Minnesota Mild. Fuck it. I'm saying that. I'm not going with Wild. We're starting strong here on Pregame.
Yeah, I mean, what have the Minnesota Wild ever played well against the Edmonton Oilers?
Not once. Not once in the history of these two teams. Yeah. Not last year, at least.
Yeah.
The Oilers went 2-1, but Dogpatch absolutely bumping right now. We got Oilers jerseys. We got employees that are just hounding me for Oilers Nation merchandise, which, of course, I told them they could get at nationgear.ca. Had a good Black Friday sale going on this weekend, but it's going to be a good one. I think I'm getting a pizza. They do a special pizza every Tuesday night.
Yeah.
So it's pizza night at Dog. Have you looked at the menu at all?
Well, I know I haven't looked at the menu because the only other game I've done was a Tuesday. So had the pizza. I can say it was very good. It was lots. I had good leftovers for the next day. I will say, keep your elbows down. You don't want to be dry-sidling, Mason Marchman's face in here as you kind of can I just sneak past you?
It's tight.
Between the I mean, there's not a lot of real estate out here. It's like Superman changing here in the phone booth. I mean, this is going to be interesting. So, nevertheless, I mean, there's reason to be optimistic again. Look, I've called this part of their season the hinge part of their season, starting last Tuesday against Dallas. 6 out of 7 at home. Now it's 5 straight at home. They're still going to balance out almost evenly between home and away games. But now you get a home stretch where you're playing against some good and some opponents that if the Oilers are going to get to the place that we think they're going to get to, they should have a good chance to beat. I mean, look, they got Seattle coming on Thursday. They got the Jets. I don't know if you got any Scott Arniel post-game there, if you weren't doing any Jet stuff. Arniel not happy. Team meeting in Winnipeg, not going well. Buffalo, I think we owe the Sabres one. The Red Wings, who knows what the Red Wings
I'll believe
do.
it when I see it that they're a playoff team. They're a perennial bubble team to me.
Look, but as we know with the Oilers, they're capable of winning all. They're capable of losing all. We don't know. They zag us when we think they're going to do one thing or another. So it's about continuing to build on their game, as boring as that sounds, and trying to accomplish the full 60 minutes, which honestly against Seattle, there was a lot of good minutes.
It was
a lot of good minutes.
It was one
Seattle.
of their most complete performances we've seen in a while. And once again, we got a glimpse into what it looks like when the Oilers play a committed team defensive style of game. And Stuart Skinner, 26 save shutout, and where he had some good ones, a big breakaway save as well in that game. But felt like the Oilers tightened things up defensively, and shocker, they walked out of it with a W. But you're right, with those 5 games, I don't know. The Edmonton Oilers, some of them you could call them coin flip matchups, but these are the ones, if you're trying to build and be the Stanley Cup contender that we know that they are, these are games you win, and whenever the games are coin flip matchups, those are the ones you need to find a way to win. But before we get unpacking, let's unpack the chat and see what's going on in the side of here. It's Austin. He was the second comment of the day, but I'm going to read it first because some traditions mean more than others. He says, Bordzy, you know what to do. Let's fire up this fucking band, baby. The rest of you, check your pulse. Let's keep the vibes rolling. Hope will never die. Good pulse. Good pulse. Yeah, ice cold, actually. Yeah. Mike UU was in and says, we be recapping a W tonight. Let's go, boys. Knock on wood as that comes out of my mouth. Also, did you pick any of the new records behind us?
I thought I'd pick a little selection here. Elton John.
Brett's guy.
Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road. And the Oilers are saying goodbye to the road over their next 2 weeks. 5 straight home games for the Oilers. And they're going to build their game yellow brick by brick. Here we go.
The gong sound effect as well. Menzies, I love him already so much. Sasky's in. Says, fire me up, Bordzy. Let's go streaking. Hope will never die. Occidental. 6-2 Oilers domination show incoming. It's kind of what you mentioned. When you think the Oilers are going to zig, they tend to zag. And I would say if you looked at the records, the last 10 of these two, and the Wild are looking pretty good. Their goaltender, we'll get into it, should be an Edmonton Oiler, isn't an Edmonton Oiler, and he is red hot. There's so many reasons for you to be bullish on the Minnesota Wild. That's exactly where the Edmonton Oilers like to pounce. And,
it's not Manny Fernandez, but it's still a pretty good goalie. I'll tell you that. Suiting up for the Wild tonight.
Excellent throwback with that one right there. Lance Kane's in with a simple cup, And then Cheryl, our queen, she says, woohoo, finally I made a pregame. Let's build some momentum on this last W, boys. Fighting Amish. What's up, Bordzy and the boys? Kind of feels like McDavid is due to go McDavid one of these nights. Could it be tonight? LFG Oilers. Little spoiler for the bankroll. Looking for Connor, looking for Leon, looking for Stuart Skinner, looking for the big dogs to be barking tonight. Jake Wallman's in here. We are so back. Dre just says Bordzy, who is a loyal Patriots fan himself. So you're outnumbered 2-1, Menzies. 2-1, brother.
So, well, we were with the officials too last night, but it didn't matter. It didn't end up mattering.
That was some violent football from the New England Patriots last night. They were breaking helmets.
Sorry, yeah. Hey, that happened. That's allowed. He was a runner. That's what we were told.
That's at least what they say. That's what they say. Now,
he was a runner.
Back to the ice. Yeah. All wins in the NHL are not created equal, right? You can win in OT. You can win in a shootout. You can win on a lucky bounce.
They all are 2 points.
Exactly, but I mean some of them hit more than others. We've seen the Oilers win some games this year. They weren't necessarily supposed to win. I think at the Philly game where, I forget who it was, wasn't Tyson Forster, but whoever stepped off sides, Owen Tippett. he stepped offside, and some of those. But Saturday's performance against the Seattle Kraken was dominating in so many different facets because they didn't just win, they kicked the shit out of the Kraken in multiple areas. They were perfect on the power play, 2 for 2. And while I hate the Edmonton Oilers taking 6 minor penalties in that hockey game, especially several of them early on, the Oilers PK goes 6 for 6 in this hockey game. It was the leaders, like I mentioned, Hyman, Nuge, Draisaitl, McDavid. They all finish with 1 goal and an assist. And then you get Stuart Skinner with a performance that we all know that he is capable of putting out there before. It's just inconsistent from time to time. But so has been the Oilers' defensive effort. So has been their aggression from night to night. And you're starting to see it here perking up a little bit. I don't know if they just needed to group hate the shit out of Mason Marchment together, but we have seen a buildup here of Edmonton in the physicality, in the emotion, in being the aggressors. I joked like 2 weeks ago that I forgot the Oilers even had the option to forecheck. I hadn't seen it for a solid stretch of their season. I refrain from saying that this is a turning point in the season because Menzies, I have said that a lot this year, and they continue to throw it back in my face night after night. Zach Hyman said yesterday, I believe his quote was, "You build towards where you want to go," and Saturday was a big step for them in that direction, which, yes, is true, but it means nothing if they come out here on home ice like we saw a week ago against the Dallas Stars and just take a big old crap out on the ice. But Saturday's performance against the Kraken, that's the blueprint for the Edmonton Oilers. Defend in front of your own net. Maybe not take 6 penalties. I could prefer without that one, but lean on your star players, lean on the power play, make it easy for Stuart Skinner. And hey, we're 25, 26 games into the season. The Seattle Kraken, while we think of them as little bro, they were tied for second in the Pacific. I believe they're third right now. That's no slouch over there, at least this season. The Oilers, what'd you think of their effort on Saturday night?
Well, I thought there was lots of good things. I mean, obviously they withstood, almost a full 2-minute 5-on-3 penalty kill. And at the end of the first period, they were able to get out of that scoreless. I thought they started the game well and, checked off the boxes that they need to check to win that particular game. I thought they played well, and that's just, okay, now we turn the calendar over. Go about your way. The Oilers, one thing in this era that has been tough is that they don't have necessarily the business-like approach sometimes to games where we get in, we achieve the things that we need to do, and we move on. We see it at times and it stretches, maybe not as often enough as we like, but I thought they played well. And 6 for 6 on the kill, the Kraken power play. Couldn't score if Bonnie Blue is on it. What are they doing? What is their game plan over there? Watch, they'll shove it up our sphincters on Thursday. But with that said, I mean, the biggest thing you want to see and coming back home here is just you want to see emotional engagement. I don't want to sit here for the third straight major central opponent at home after Colorado and Dallas and be like, hey, they look like they met 15 minutes before warm-up in the parking lot. Like, they need to bring that emotional engagement. I don't want to have to comb through a Chris Knobloch librarian press conference where he's going to, we made mistakes.
You need the anger translator from the Key and Peele skit years ago is what I talk about. So just tell me how it is, Nobby, in some of these.
Yeah, just tell me how you're feeling. Like, give me a little something. So I just want to see that emotional engagement level because you're right. The Wild are coming in. They're arguably the league's hottest team right now, 9-0-2 in their last 11, but they are coming off a loss. They did lose to Buffalo on Saturday after a big emotional win Friday against Colorado. So they've had a couple days to rest. The Oilers have a couple days to rest and practice. So I'm very curious to see what that translates to tonight.
I want to see some more physical engagement, especially if you're back here on home ice and you want to put your best foot forward. We've seen some of this influx of energy since Connor Clattenburg has been called up to the NHL squad. And even before that, it was slowly taking its baby steps. But you look at Saturday night, Alec Regula, he gets in a scrap. Doesn't go his way, but I appreciate the fact that he's getting into it. Connor Clattenburg just dummying Freddie Gaudreau around. And we saw the Oilers, like I mentioned it, they were just single-handedly. Public enemy number one was Mason Marchment. There was a great clip, the end of the first intermission. It was the Oilers' full bench just chirping at Marchment. And it was the guys out of the bench that you want to see. It was your Clattenburgs, your Frederick, Podkolzin. even sneaky Matthias Janmark, who has been getting into a lot of scrums this year. We also talked about it. Feels like a Janmark anytime goal tonight.
Janmark just could look at another bench and they would feel they feel something. I don't know what they feel. They feel something getting the eyes of Matthias over there. So, yeah, they were emotionally engaged. It's good. Now, it's like Larry Bird. Larry Bird is part of those 80s Celtics teams. They were a championship level team. You're going to have nights where you're either rolling into opposite buildings or you got these games and you're going to find little things to keep the competitiveness up, right? And so, I'm seeing it in the chat where, Hartman's a bit of an instigator. He's a guy who agitates. That can be an element of the game, too, that the Oilers, delve into a bit more, because the nights where they no-show, they play perimeter, and they do not get to the mixer. They do not get to the slot. They do not get to the front of the net, and you're not going to score against Minnesota Wild without doing that. You're not going to be in the game against Minnesota Wild if you stay the periphery. So
I like some of the pushback we've seen recently, and once again, it's guys like Zach Hyman bringing their lunch pail. Obviously, he scored a classic Zach is back type goal, just banking off his skate and doing the classic Michael Jordan shrug afterwards, going, that's when you know that Zach is back. But Brett, I think we have it here. The quote from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, because I say, Nuge, hook this shit to my veins. He said, we're going to stand up for each other and make sure that they know when something like that happens. It's not just going to go away. And also, we'll get into the Nuge and his emergence back in the lineup and how he fit in like an absolute glove. But this Oilers team, whatever way you got to find yourself to find a way to get engaged in these, your November, your December type games. This team it's hard to ratchet up playoff style energy every single night for 82 games, but you got to find any way to make it happen and kind of magician your own little bit of motivation in this hockey game. I like that Hartman message there from the chat, because that guy can tend to be a scumbag on the ice from time to time, and we've seen it.
Well, and just to amend that point, it doesn't need to be digging into the cauldron of they played Florida in what was obviously a very meaningful rematch of what happened the last two Stanley Cup finals, but you need to reach a baseline level, because look, if you watch other teams in the NHL, I'm sure you watch other games. Look, there is a minimum engagement level that you need. We haven't seen it at times. If we start to see that, the Oilers are just going to get more points. They're going to win more games because they have certain skill to figure it out. As time goes along, the more stylistic systems, tactics sort of discussion, which has been a part of the first quarter of the season discussion, that will start to take shape as we get into more matchups wise. January, after Olympics. By the way, with Olympics, not to veer here. Everyone, Olympic ice, foreign ice, that's going to be bigger ice. No, it's going to be 3 or 4 feet tighter. This rink in Milan that they're building is going to be smaller than NHL ice.
What, actually confirmed?
Yes, it is 3 to 4 feet dimensions. They don't even have this thing built. This thing is a joke right now. They might be playing on the Glendon Arena for all we know, something equivalent right now, because they are so behind on building this rink, and it sounds like the dimensions.
I feel like they got to get
shorter
on that thing. I feel like they only have 2 months to probably get something
power
like that done.
rank the corrupt sports organizations? I'll give you a few. IOC,
yeah, for sure.
FIFA,
Live Golf.
There's 3 compelling ones. I mean, we can build a Mount Rushmore quickly, but regardless, Olympic ice is going to be smaller.
That's insane. That is, how have I not read that? Have I not seen that? That's Connor McDavid's superpower, is extra space out there on the ice. That's what I'm excited to watch this February.
No, so Tom Wilson's got to make the team, because there's nowhere to be on the ice.
Same with guys like Zach Hyman. Yeah, I feel like that works more for
it's the old Boston Garden. Old Boston Garden was 3 to 4 feet shorter in the zones.
Hey, shout out Larry Bird.
That's right.
Bringing it back. Also, I love seeing this in the chat. Erickson, he says Menzies is great. Menzies is great.
Thank you.
Also, I believe it was Ryder from The Sauce, which, shameless plug here, we just created a new YouTube channel for The Sauce.
Oh.
So why don't you go over there right now? It only takes a couple clicks of your fingers. Move the mouse a little bit. Be a friend. Tell a friend. And subscribe to their new YouTube channel and help them out trying to build it off the ground. And you guys know, Ryder and Lisa, they're absolute studs. They're fantastic.
Some are saying in the ratings that The Sauce is the #1 morning show in Edmonton that takes place on a sports-related platform that just streams digitally.
Some people are saying
Some
things.
are saying.
The
some
rumors,
are saying.
the rumors are out there, and
quite frankly,
you at home can help them continue to build on those
That's
numbers. But Ryder says, watching while bathing my dog in the shower. I have no swimsuit on. My dog has no swimsuit on. What a strange way to enjoy the show. Menzies, have you ever tuned in to Pregaming with Bordzy from the tub before?
No, I failed to bring my peanut butter as well. So that's
any means necessary. Gotta get that dog nice and clean. But I want to mention it. We talked about it. The return of Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to the Oilers lineup on Saturday. It was a huge reason why they won that game 4-0. Obviously, didn't take him very long to get on the score sheet as he finishes off a beautiful Evan Bouchard pass on the power play. Timeout. I met Bouchard on Saturday night.
Oh, did you?
I was over at Kelly's Pub, and he was there after the game in Seattle, so he would have flown back and whatnot. And I, Bordzy, have a couple suds in me, and we're feeling a little bit adventurous. So go over.
Was Bouchard's lazy eye if you're going for too
dude,
much?
He was so, and I get all the jokes. I understand. I make all the jokes off air, of course. But
I have a lazy eye, so I can say
nice,
it.
I
could say it.
Menzies, come over here.
Exactly.
But Bouchard, and I will say this, you guys can say whatever you want because they tend to call us on ONE, a couple Bouchard lovers, Bouchard truthers, as I say. He was the most normal dude I've ever met. He was like jovial, smiley, held a conversation. And I told him, hey, man, great pass on that Ryan Nugent-Hopkins goal in the first period. He goes, oh, that was all Nuge. Turned him and I went, I love that you're humble, but dude, that was all you. What the hell are we even talking about? So he was.
How many curse words were half spoken by Oiler fans in front of their TVs when you saw Bouchard pass that? You're like, mother, oh yeah.
I'll be real with you. I went through that very same reaction and then, that's why I'm not out there on the ice. That's why we say Evan Bouchard is an elite offensive defenseman. But the other guy, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. So he scores a couple minutes into that hockey game. And his impact, and we all know this, these are all things that Edmonton Oilers fans, anyone who's followed this team for any amount of years knows by now. But the Nuge is a jack of all trades, and damn it, he's a master of some because he's great 5v5. You can put him in that 3C role. You can put him up at the wing all you want. But the way that they use him on PP1, and he's the trigger man, and we looked at some of the numbers, the power play without Nuge tend to veer off a little bit, and then he comes back, bang, perfect 2 for 2. But it's not just a power play. It's the PK. The Kraken had a 5-on-3 for almost a full 2 minutes in that first period, and Nuge was eating pucks. He had a massive block shot, and then it's more so just the argument of final minute, you're down a goal, Nuge is on the ice. Final minute, you're up a goal, and damn it, he's going to be on the ice. He finished that game with a goal and an assist. The Nuge, point per game Nuge this season, 18 points in 17 games. And that Saturday performance is one of those ones that, can go under the radar. When you're looking at Connor McDavid, you're looking at Leon Draisaitl, you get the Skinner shutout. But I left that game on Saturday just going, everything feels better with 93 in that lineup. That could also apply to number 18 and Zach Hyman.
Well, this is only the second game that they're going to play together yet. Seattle was the first game that Nuge and Hyman had both been in the lineup. So, to your point, and I cut off.
Please.
But
they are back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Nuge is huge. I mean, it's good to see. It's good to see that because he can have quite wild disparities sometimes in his point totals, and we know he's great in a wide facet of areas, right? As you allude to. I mean, 5v5, he's been a penalty killer since coming to Edmonton, just about power play. It looks they were throwing different bodies out. I think we even saw like Henrique at times with PP1. Yep. It's good to see Nuge back in that spot because he can make the nice subtle play, and he doesn't need to be a showcase piece. He can play with other skill. So that's good to see. And the Oilers, if the Oilers are playing well and they go on a great stretch, Nuge is playing well, right? When the Oilers are not doing well, I find Nugent-Hopkins is not playing well. So I feel like he's a good barometer, not that you would measure, air pressure in the room. Typically, barometers are rarely used. But in this case, Nugent-Hopkins acts as a barometer, and he's
I'm
a good
picking up what you're laying down.
Yeah,
I'm picking up what
he's
you're
a
laying
good
down.
barometer for Oilers success. We were watching Jeopardy before the show, so we were really getting into the weeds of intellect. And I tell you what a way to warm up for pre and post.
I think that's going to have to be our new pregame
Yeah.
routine before we pregame. We got pregame our pregaming.
Yeah.
With a little bit of Ken Jennings Jeopardy. And Menzies was picking them off left, right, and center. Like, I got a couple in there. I'm always competing. I'm never going to be silent during Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Menzies, you're a little bit of an encyclopedia under that flow.
I know, a couple things about a couple things.
I know a little about this, a little about that.
Yeah, So, anyways, it's good to see. And what is 2 points? That's what the Oilers are looking for tonight. So.
Oh, Gene Principe.
I've done a few live broadcasts here.
That's true.
I've done a couple live broadcasts.
Menzies, once again, people, he writes the pre-scout article on Oilersnation.com every single morning, which I guess let's talk about that in just a second. Shameless plug for the Nation vacation right now, though. Menzies, I feel like you and I would get along very well in Sin City down in Las Vegas, and the whole Oilers Nation team is going to be heading there March 24th to the 27th. Head on over to nationgear.ca to find out. So we got non-flight options and flight options because a lot of people like to use their points for their flights over there.
Yeah.
You can do double occupancy, single occupancy, but I do warn you, these are starting to fly a little bit on nationgear.ca. I keep checking every day, and there's 8 spots of this one left, 10 of this one left. And before you know it, March is going to be here. Is there any way we can convince you to come to Vegas with us?
As long as you're going to tell me that Stauffer is playing a VLT.
I don't want to make guarantees, but I've been in Vegas with the Oilers
recording that video. I think it would be a great time. I mean, I've never been to Vegas.
Really?
I've never been to Vegas.
Ooh.
So I'm due.
Getting Oilers.
I'm due.
Get a good, like I always say about the Nation vacation, the Oilers game is just an added bonus.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, shit, the Oilers are playing today.
Are we making a make it, or are we going to be Clark Griswold trying to win his life savings back?
Also, you mentioned Bob Stauffer. It's just brought me back to this. I discovered this weekend. So I went to my elementary, junior high. It's out by Ardrossan. It's not Ardrossan. It's Fultonvale.
Attended class.
And I found out that Bob Stauffer used to go to my elementary and junior high school. There was a photo on Reddit that was going viral. It said Fultonvale Firebirds. So I had to Facebook message my old teacher. And I was like, I need to know now if Bob Stauffer was a Fultonvale Firebird. Turns out, me and Bob got a couple things in common, including our love of VLTs. But it's Minnesota Wild tonight, not the Mild. I'll go back and forth on this throughout. What I love is that normally to get my information on the opposition team, I read the pre-scout article, courtesy of my pal Michael Menzies here. But the beauty of tonight is that he's here right next to me.
Flesh.
So Menzies, why don't you tell the people what they could have found out on Oilersnation.com earlier today?
Well, like we say, I mean, the Wild, they're running pretty hot right now. Jesper Wallstedt, I mean, that's going to be the biggest storyline of this hockey game. The sins of Oilers management, Kenny Hull and Tyler Wright. They trade the pick. They trade down. They take Borgo. They take Mutzenberger. And with the pick that would have been theirs, they select this guy named Jesper Wallstedt, who right now is red hot. Red hot. A .938 save percentage.
Is that good?
I hear
What's
it's
that
good.
like? What's that like?
Yeah, I
Must be sick.
I couldn't tell you. Probably not since Eddie Mio had a 3-game win streak for the Oilers in 1980. They had such a save percentage. But
encyclopedia of polls, I'm telling you, man.
So, nevertheless, Wallstedt's going to be the story of the Wall of St. Paul, they call him. He's got the big shootout celebrations. He's fired up. But a couple of things you should know. Zuccarello is back for the Wild. His return is perfectly dovetailed with Minnesota being on this streak. They're 9-0-2 with Zuccarello back in. He's playing on their top line with Kaprizov. And then the top six, I mean, you're going to see, I'm sure that John Hines, Wild coach, is wanting to match up Joel Eriksson-Ek against McDavid. Because Eriksson-Ek's defensive metrics against the likes of McKinnon, Bedard, other, top-end talent, they crater in expected goals when they play Eriksson-Ek. So what is that chess match tonight between Knobloch having last change and John Hines? Are they going to change lines quick? When can they get them out? So those are a couple things. I've got some wild stats for you. Just
some wild stats?
Some wild stats.
I'll take the mild stats.
Well, the crazy statistics really lean wild. The Wild, are better against the Oilers than any other team in their franchise's history. That November was their third best month points-wise, the Wild in franchise history. Third best in their 25 years.
That's not ideal, but it's December, folks.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
It's December. Where was this? The all-time Wild record against the Oilers is, I had pulled this out, 63. No, sorry. Where's the full record? I have it somewhere.
They're 35-13-1 since 2010.
Since
Holy
2010,
shit.
yeah. Now, we remember when we were kids, the Oilers never won in Minnesota. There was a 17-game Wild win streak. Now it's flipped where the Wild are really good on the road in Edmonton, except that flipped last year. The Oilers won their or lost their one home game and won both on the road in Minnesota. But historically, the Wild, they love playing the Oilers. It feels like that. The numbers back it up. What does that mean for tonight? Dick all, but that is just what it is.
We got to let you know. I remember last year. So the Oilers, right, in Minnesota, they beat the shit out of the Wild 7-1. And we had our Nation Citizens Christmas party down here at Dogpatch. But we'd all discussed the history against the Wild and going, Jay, I don't know if that's a good one to do, man. I don't feel very confident about that. But what do you know? The stars aligned, and the Oilers they took it to them, belt to ass, to the Minnesota Wild.
Mark Bouchard had no response.
Nothing.
He had nothing for them.
But Jesper Wallstedt, right, his numbers this season, they're insane. 7-0-2, 1.93 goals against. As you mentioned, a .938 save percentage. Fucking insane numbers. Now, that's only a small sample size of 9 games, but this guy was a former first-round pick. And like we had mentioned, there's some history here with the Edmonton Oilers as Wallstedt was taken with the 20th overall selection in the 2021 NHL draft. The Oilers had that pick, traded out of it to go 2 picks lower at number 22 and draft one Xavier Bourgault. They also got the pick number 90 in that draft, which turned out to be one Luka Munzenberger. But as we all know, hindsight is 2020. Yes. I don't like this discussion that's been going around of like, well, we should have taken Wallstedt. We should have known he would have solved every other problem because, the Oilers had some other young goalies in the wings. You had Stuart Skinner. You had Olivier Waugh. And then I also look at the forward group with the Oilers at that time, and I think of like Alex Chason scoring a lot in the top 6. So I understand why they took one Xavier Bourgault. But Brett.
Well, when you have Alex Chase on the top 6, I mean, you
got to do something. You got to do something. But here you see it on your
lock
screen.
Him up.
The Oilers 2021 draft class, and it does not look very good. This one, as we all know, was the COVID draft year. So there was a lot of, discussion about, like, I feel like the OHL barely even played that season. These guys couldn't get all kinds of interviews and whatever. There was a lot more that went into this. Jeff Merrick kind of earlier today was talking about, like, this was the draft that separates the men from the boys. Yeah. And if you were able to actually find any good players out there. Look at your screen. The Edmonton Oilers didn't find much during this draft. Xavier Bourgault has 17 points in the AHL this season. The only player there to play an NHL game is Shane LaChance, and he needed to use his daddy in New Jersey for that. A little bit of nepotism going on over there. But I hate doing it 4 years later and being like, oh, well, why would you take Xavier Bourgault over a guy like Wallstedt? But Menzies, being completely transparent here, Wallstedt in Oilers jersey, he might solve all of our problems.
Yeah,
right now.
I mean, that would actually
it's
be.
It's not that simple, but it is that simple.
Just what the doctor ordered. Look, what I'll say is that the Oilers historically draft very poorly. I think they've had maybe 5 good drafts in their franchise's history. Glenn Sather in the first 3 seasons of the franchise, was pulling Glenn Anderson out of Denver and, was pulling these guys. Go to Hockey DB if you're, curious. Look at Oilers draft history. They had the 1990 draft. They picked 11 times. Nobody played in the NHL. Nobody played.
Curse?
The thing is, they trade the pick. You'd probably even feel worse if they didn't trade the pick, but still take Bourgault. They screwed up. But I mean, last year, Wallstedt wasn't playing well in the AHL as well. So look,
it's bad. It's bad, obviously.
Xavier
Xavier Bourgault's not even on the team anymore. They traded him for Roby Jarventia. I just don't like the years later coming down, and I do see people in the chat here, I believe it was
Yeah.
Westside Shane, he says, LOL, no, everyone with a brain wanted them to draft Wallstedt. He's calling me an idiot. He's saying I don't have a brain. I was more in the forward camp at that time, but goaltending can be voodoo from time to time. I believe this is Wallstedt's 15th career NHL start going down tonight, which also this is the Edmonton Oilers. It might be a little bit different, but there's no way for me to really justify it. It sucks that he's not in the Edmonton Oilers jersey. And then we thought the Wild, they were pretty committed to one Philip Gustafsson, and it kind of feels like in one fell swoop here, Wallstedt has taken that starter's job responsibility.
And to the commenter's point, this is a good point. People in real live time were mad.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it's retroactive pissed offness, because the Oilers could have also taken Wyatt Johnston next.
There's a couple names the Oilers could have taken in that draft. I just go to that.
Sandwiched between,
I didn't hear anything about Wallstedt for the last 3 years, and then all of a sudden, yes, it comes down the line, and now everybody's coming out armchair GM, and I get it. It's frustrating, and as you mentioned, the Oilers, they have a history of swinging and missing on some NHL draft picks. Let's go now to your need-to-know information, courtesy of Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because only the finest tasting meat products earn the Wilhauk name. Made from a 100% Alberta beef, their jerky is aged, seasoned, smoked, and marinated to savory perfection. They gladly fill orders of any size, and you can find their jerky, sausage, and other products out of their Leduc location. So the Oilers are expected to run the same lineup as they did Saturday night, meaning Connor Clattenburg is still sticking up with the NHL squad, and you can't take him down. More on that in just a second. But an Oilers injury update. There will be no Jake Wallman in this hockey game. However, he did skate at yesterday's practice and hopefully will return later on in the week. Now, we did get some news here, from one Jason Gregor. He also mentions Jack Roslovic and Kapanen might get in a game before Christmas break, but most likely they return after, so another 3+ weeks for both of them. I'm not holding my breath. The fact Nobby told me week to week with Jack Roslovic in my world means month to month, because this dude tends to lie to my face. Could use that translator we were talking about once again. Some big losses, but at least the Oilers got Hyman and they got Ryan Nugent-Hopkins back in. And that Kapanen injury, that just sucks that had to happen during practice. And I feel bad for the stick rack because he took it all out on the ice, showing some frustration as well. The Oilers, this is the start of their 5-game homestand. So it's Mini tonight, Seattle on Thursday, Winnipeg on Saturday, Buffalo. That one's going to mean more than it normally would after what we saw earlier on this season.
Scary.
And then it'll close it out with the Detroit Red Wings next Thursday before you see it. The Oilers go on another 5-game road trip after that. But I tell you, after that one, they're pretty much done in that. They definitely don't go to the East Coast ever again in the season.
Yeah. January is their breakout part of the year because they have an 8-game homestand in January. That's the breakout part.
I've been talking about this all year, that I've had January circled. It's going to be fucking cold in Edmonton. It's dark at 5 p.m. You don't want to be in this city, and you're going to have all these California boys coming up here from different spots. I like the Oilers to make their run in January, and we've seen the Edmonton Oilers do that before in that part of the schedule. We talked about it. The Oilers went 2-1 against Minnesota last season. They lost in November, then Christmas, 7-1 defeat. They kicked the shit out of the Wild in that one, and then 5-3 in January. Stuart Skinner, he's expected to get the start for the Oilers, coming off a 26-save S-word. Don't feel like saying it again, just in case. I've seen Stu do it in the playoffs before with a couple back-to-backs.
Yep.
I'm doubting it, but I'll still believe, damn it, because that's the guy I am. He's up to an .885 save percentage. Booyah, baby.
He just needs to battle.
Yep.
We just want to see him battle. Just battle. Get to work. There's been a lot of, goaltending talk. I'm sick of the topic. That's why part of me is like, almost wishes Skinner was gone just so that the topic would end, and not for his sake, but also for him to move on to. But I'll just say that I'm just sick of every game being a referendum where you have to litigate whether Skinner is a good goalie or a bad goalie every game. I think Skinner has told us what he is. He can provide some good nights. He can have some not so good nights. We know this. This is the great Oiler variable. I hope that he can string together some positive performances. I hope he battles tonight. They'll need him to.
He's got some inconsistencies in his game, but we all know it. It's in there. And we've been talking about it much this season. The Oilers themselves, Leon Draisaitl, Connor McDavid, need to defend better in front of Stuart Skinner. And they do that tonight. Hey, I like the Oilers' chances against anybody in this league.
It's going to be a tight checking hockey game tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, the Wild check.
I like the under.
You know,
I love the under.
They play 3-2 games. They go to overtime. They go to shootout a lot. Like there's not going to be these big breakdowns in the Wild zone. You know what I mean? So the Oilers have to stay disciplined, and hopefully their semblance of structure is, they're going to have to manage pucks. They can't be thrown away, and hopefully their structure can maintain, because the Wild do have, a good top six. Their bottom six is not so much offensive, but it's going to be a tight checking game. So
it's going to be a war of attrition. Yeah, they also, the moment our beers finish, they just bring us fresh new beers. Split the G while I tell the people about the need to know information for the Minnesota Mild. The Wild, they own a 14-7-5 record. They are third in the Central, and I believe sixth in the entire NHL. That Central Division, it's pretty good this year. There you look at the head-to-head numbers between the two teams. So Minnesota ranks 23rd in the NHL in goals per game. Not even close, Menzies.
No, I don't want to.
Stuff. See, I've embarrassed myself too many times being short like that. That I'm. The audience down here in Dogpatch is pissed. This place is packed. I didn't turn left for about 30 minutes. Holy shit.
Oh, yeah, I know. You're like Clark Griswold at European Vacation, where he can't get left. And how many
I'm an ambi
vacation movies?
I'm like Zoolander. I'm Derek Zoolander. Derek, you did it. What? I turned left. He saved the Malaysian Prime Minister. Oh, yeah. Cool. Back to what's on the screen. Sorry, Brett, one more time. Minnesota ranks 23rd in goals per game at 2.85, but they are 8th in goals against at 2.73. Holy shit, Menzies just split the G. It took him 2 tries. He's a new guest here, so we'll give him that.
But, that was a 2-putt. It was a 2-putt. I didn't nail the 25-footer, but that's a 2-putt.
The Wild power play, it's been opportunistic. It is 6th in the NHL at 24.2%. While their PK, it's a little bit of a slight weakness, 79.0, which is actually 22nd in the entire NHL. They have a couple injuries. Marco Rossi's currently on IR, hasn't played since November 11th. Marcus Foligno is now week to week after their game against Chicago last week where he got injured. Vinny Hinostroza, he's out 4 to 6 weeks, while Danila Yurov, I believe, is now day-to-day. So they got a couple ones, but their big dogs are still in the lineup.
Is Pitlick in tonight?
No, I believe he's not.
Okay, gun to your head. I've locked you in a basement. Okay. Pitlick hasn't played with the Oilers since 2016-17. How many teams has Tyler Pitlick played with since leaving the Oilers?
Okay, he was on the Stars. I believe he was.
Yeah, that was next.
He was on the Wild, clearly.
He's on the Wild.
I'm going to go, just by the way you phrased that question, I'm going to go with 4 teams.
4 teams.
7.
It's 8.
No.
It's 8 teams.
Say 8.
8
Wow.
teams. Oh, he's traveled.
Man, and I was in on the Pitlick pick.
He played like 30 games for the Rangers 2 years ago. I have no worldly recollection of former 31st overall pick Tyler Pitlick.
What could have been?
Games. Yeah.
Looking through Tyler Pitlick's career and Riley Nash's career is unbelievable. And the fact that Riley Nash has played on the amount of teams that he has and still was never an Oiler is phenomenal.
Riley Nash, because you get that high draft status, Riley Nash, 21st overall?
Something like that.
Maybe, something like that. And teams believe, they see it early. They're like, if we just harness this
Vasily Podkolzin, we're doing it with him, 10th overall.
Have I ever told you my Podkolzin story?
You should tell me afterwards because we only have 15 more minutes and we got to pay some bills here quickly.
It's a good one.
Whenever Menzies on pregaming, we might have to go for 90 minutes or 120 minutes because we could drink some beers and we could talk shop. We could also play Jeopardy live on the air.
Yeah.
Who's not down for that? Who doesn't want audio Jeopardy?
When Oilersnation did that Oilers Jeopardy, I was screaming. at my laptop.
I made those.
Idiots. These guys. Their final Jeopardy was the Steve Smith own goal. Are you kidding me?
He's talking to me directly because I made that question. And
question.
Liam couldn't do his proper wagering, and he couldn't do the math, and that's how he ended up losing.
There is a lost Jeopardy as well that was an Aaron attempted to play, but I made it too difficult. So now I'm going to run it through Menzies and see just how difficult it really
I
is.
want you to do it because it was like expert mode Jeopardy, and me and Waz both finished like minus 3,500 each. I'd be curious if you could do
I was going to say, maybe you guys need Celebrity Jeopardy SNL edition.
it. Burt Reynolds,
Yeah.
putting on that hat. Okay, let's
It's
go
a
now.
funny hat. Yeah,
Yeah.
funny hat.
Thank you. This guy's the best. Let's go now to the home team lineup. We'll do this all pretty quickly. Brought to you by Oodle Noodle. Download their app today. Available on the Google Play Store or the App Store. And once you do that, sign up for an account. You can then take advantage of their awesome deals. They got the $2 add-on to your meal deal where you get any regular box, any premium box. And for $2, you can get 2 green onion cakes, 5 spring rolls, or 6 deep fried wontons. That's a deal of all deals. Bert, pull it up for me. Projected lineup here for the Edmonton Oilers tonight. Your top line of Matt Savoy, Connor McDavid, and Zachary Martin Hyman, the children's book author, with Vasily Podkolzin, Leon Draisaitl, and Andrew Mangiapane. Third line of Rico, Nuge, and Matthias Janmark. Anytime goal scorer, anybody? Fourth line of Trent Frederick, Curtis Lazar, and Connor Clattenburg. Your deep pairings, Ekholm with Bush, Darnell with a Reggie, and Brett Kulak with one Ty Emberson. So Connor Clattenburg, I just want to sing his praises for a bit because this dude has been awesome. He has been exactly as advertised for what I was told he would bring to this lineup. He brings physicality, aggression. He is a spark plug. He is the Energizer Bunny just banging around out
He's
there.
everything Trent Frederick was supposed to be.
And I hate that this discussion leads to this, but it's like you have a player coming in that young. He's only played now 3 career NHL games, but he has been, I don't want to necessarily use the word like, he's not the heartbeat. He's not this of the Oilers, but he has been an injection of energy and has been exactly what the doctor ordered for these Edmonton Oilers. And this is a fucked up concept that we just signed Trent Frederick to an 8-year deal. And I'm sitting here going, do you think the kid in his 4th NHL game could rub off on Trent Frederick and maybe that 4th line can be a modern day version of the Bash brothers, get out there, both guys on the wing and create some havoc, be the aggressors, be heavy on that forecheck. When the Oilers need an energy shift, can they turn to both of those guys to watch them just line up dudes and hit them out there on the ice? Hate that we're talking about this way with one Trent Frederick, but we all have eyes. It's been improved lately, his physicality. Like I have liked it a little bit more. His face is also healing. So we could be expecting a fight. Who knows? Could be coming again here soon. But what have you thought of Connor Clattenburg, and how crazy is the idea that I'm sitting here talking about this NHL rookie being the energy that the 8-year contract guy needs?
Well, it just goes to show that, I think that's my beer.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Hands up,
We're sharing. We're sharing.
Who touched my honey? Anyhow, lost the powers. But so anyhow, anyhow, let me tell you that Connor Clattenburg, let's pull up the tape. Clattenburg, here he is. Whammo! Clattenburg. He's got hands like cribbage boards, as I saw there in the chat. Anyway, Clattenburg's good. I mean, he's good for what they need. Look, I was leery because his AHL coach is saying, he kind of needs to learn how to play hockey. But the thing he doesn't need to learn is to skate in straight lines, finish his check, and if got to answer the bell, he can answer the bell. So that's what the Oilers need. And they're also in the spot, like we go through with the injury reports, where, look, if he's going to provide something, what are you giving? Everybody needs to pull the rope in some way, and it can't all be the same way. And Clattenburg can provide an element that was sorely lacking, and it's good to see. Frederick Knobloch was asked about Frederick today. It wasn't good because he paused for 3 or 4 Mississippis.
Oh, no.
He gave well, that's a good question, Jason. That's not good to see. It's a little annoying. So, look, for Frederick, it obviously bodes well for the Oilers if Frederick's playing better, whether in comfort, everything else, for him to come back and just be effective, because the Oilers need him. They signed him long-term. They need him to be the player that he showed at times at Boston. So, hopefully that's tonight, or just at least get moving in the right
building
direction.
Building blocks here. Let's get something to. I like what you mentioned there about, they got the injuries. Guy like Clattenburg, what's your role on this team? That's kind of what I've been asking Trent Frederick ever since he joined the Edmonton Oilers is, what is it going to be for you? And also, Nobby's quote was, "We know Trent will come around right now. We're trying to get it out of him. We've been trying, and we'll continue to keep trying because we got some other length left."
Well, don't worry,
this
we have
contract.
7 3/4 seasons.
We were
to
looking
try
it up
to get
today, and
out.
we were trying to figure out the percentage of how far along in this contract we are.
Yeah,
Very minuscule.
we're
Very minuscule amount.
1/32 of the way through.
Lance Kane also said, "I'm a big team rope pull guy." That's a good.
Hey,
Lance
not
Kane.
to
Shut
go
up.
into the
Okay,
Louis
no.
DeBrusque book of cliches.
Okay, let's do.
I just
yes,
no,
Brett.
no, Bordzy, we can't go past you saying that what you want Clattenburg to do off on Freddie there.
Rub off.
Rub
Yeah,
off.
Yeah, rub off.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey.
Heated rivalry type beat.
Locker room is their business. God
Well,
damn
it'd
it.
be tough because he's providing sandpaper. So that would be a tough. That would be
Unbelievable. Okay,
uncomfortable.
down back in. Dogpatch starting goaltenders brought to you by Dogpatch, my humble abode, the very bar we are in right now. It's Tuesday night, which means it's pizza night. But it doesn't matter what day of the week you come down here. They have an excellent menu. I've basically gone through the entire thing now this season, and I haven't had one bad meal yet. Come on down, Brett and I, and our revolving door of guests, which people, you can tell by now, you want to drink some beers with Michael Menzies. It's an absolute beauty. Pull it up, Brett, to tell the tape between the two cold tenders. It's one Stuart Skinner with a 3.00 and 8.85, and then Wallstead, 1.93 with a 9.38. We've talked about it. Stuart Skinner coming off a 26-save shutout, and Wallstead, he's been unreal. I think he's won his last 6 games in a row, I do believe, but he's yet to play the Edmonton Oilers. So, as we all know, this team can be a bit of a different animal, especially also Connor and Leon are both plus money for 2+ points tonight. I like that.
Yeah.
We think they're going to zig, and they're going to zag, and
Yeah.
we're zagging now to the away lineup brought to you by the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament. This one, there are still spots available on nationgear.ca, where it's a beautiful 4-on-4 ODR tournament out on the beautiful Lake Mildred out at Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge. I'm jealous. I've never gone to this before. Menzies, how strong of a skater are you?
Very weak, very poor, very poor.
So I think it could be
very
the ultimate mosaic team, because Brett and I never get invited to these. So we're trying to build our own team with people from the chat so that we can just show up the day of for a face-off with your M-Chuck.
Please.
Right for the bone, hack it right
I
up.
used to provide a Ryan Smith-esque role in road hockey, which was just to run around a lot, get in front, park myself there. So
we could use that. I mean, I
would be no help in this, but I could certainly try.
You could be a vibes guy. You'd be a good vibes guy.
Yeah.
Maybe a coach. You'd be coach.
I might be in it sounds like a Drumheller weekend with my junior A team, but nevertheless.
Why don't you plug your team? Plug your team.
Bonneville Junior A Pontiacs. I've been doing the play-by-play now. This is my 7th season doing play-by-play in the Alberta Junior Hockey League. And Yaks are hot lately. You talk about the Wild. Well, the Yaks are, 9-2-1.
The hottest team in Alberta right now, baby.
The
Let's go.
hottest team in the AJ in the last 12, 9-2-1. They're climbing up the North Division standings. They're actually about to have puck drop in about 9 minutes. First game against the Fort McMurray Oil Barons down at the RJ Lalonde Arena. So we'll see. The Mob. Good start, not so good lately. The Yaks, this is the last game of their homestand. Then we're in Grand Prairie Friday and Whitecourt Saturday.
There we go.
Yeah,
I hate that you said the RJ Lalonde Arena, because I was going to guess that because I know that I did my internship in Lloydminster. So I covered the Pontiacs aplenty back in the day. Shout out Troy Trombley, I believe was their old goaltender. I went to high school with him.
Yeah.
Shout out him. He's like 6'6". He's huge. But the away lineup, Bert, pull it up for me. What we expect to see from the Minnesota Wild this evening. Top line of Kirill Kaprizov with Danila Yurov. Okay, so he's day-to-day, but he's expected to be in with Matt Zuccarello. Then Marcus Johansson with Joel Eriksson-Ek and Matt Boldy, another guy who could have been drafted as an Edmonton Oiler. Yeah. Then you've got Liam Ogren with Ryan Hartman and Vladimir Tarasenko. I made the joke. I'm very Oilers-focused and very Oilers-central. And I had a good chuckle yesterday when I was going through the Wild prep when I went, oh, yeah, Vladimir Tarasenko is on the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah,
there he is.
Back from injury.
There he is on third line, back from injury. You could have read that in the pre-scout report on Oilersnation.com. Yakov trending with Nico Sturm and Tyler Pitlick, according to this.
Oh,
so who knows? We'll see. We'll see. Jacob Middleton with Jared Spurgeon, Jonas Brodin with Brock Faber, and Zeev Buyam with Zach Bogosian. We always do this where I go, ask my guests, who's your player to watch on this Minnesota Wild lineup? For me, I think I'm going Joel Eriksson-Ek, because it's like another one where you talk about the feeling you get of losing to the Wild. I checked the stats. he hasn't been that dominant goal scoring wise against the Oilers. It always feels like Eriksson Ek plays the Oilers very well, very physical. Yeah. And as you had mentioned, he's been a bit of a shutdown wizard so far this season against the likes of McKinnon, Bedard. Selke, question mark? Who knows?
Yeah.
For one, Joel Eriksson Ek. But that's going to be my guy. And obviously the Oilers are going to have last change in this hockey game. So hopefully they can get some favorable matchups. But hey, Joel Eriksson Ek, we've seen him before against the Oilers. He tends to show up. Who is your player to watch?
Brock Faber, the decor there. I mean, he was
almost did it again.
He almost did it again. I mean, Faber plays in all situations. He averages about 24 minutes a night. He's, a Callan 2024 Calder Trophy finalist. You're going to see Faber out there a lot. I'm curious to watch him tonight and see how he does. I mean, the Wild top four, they can handle a lot of minutes. Then you have an exciting rookie and a guy like Zach Bogosian, who was taken third overall. Was Bogosian third?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And I think
third or fourth.
Yeah. He played like 939 games. I know the answer because I looked it up. But anyhow, Faber, let's watch some Faber. Walsh, we're all going to pay attention to Walsh. That's going to be the
I'm going to be poking my
here.
voodoo Wallstead doll that I've got because we looked at it earlier today on ONE. The guy is perfect by the ears. He's perfect through the dead center of his chest. He's just been damn good so far this season. Let's go now to Bordzy's Bankroll, brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today because whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus. Please play responsibly. It's been a tough year this year. We were talking about the NFL. You even said it, Menzies.
Yeah.
You've been seeing the board recently.
Lately. Yeah.
Well, the NHL board, I have not been seeing well. But on Saturday, Bankroll did go 3 for 3. We leaned on Leon Draisaitl. We leaned on a couple big guys. So now we go like the Edmonton Oilers. We build on home ice. Bert, pull it up because I'm going back to the well. Leon Draisaitl, 2+ points at plus 140. That's some juice against this Wild team. Then your next one, Connor McDavid, 2+ points. I have this rule for me where if you're going to give plus 110 on any time McDavid's 2+ points, if you're going to give me plus money, I'm smashing it every single time because most nights it's like minus 140, minus 150. We've seen it be ridiculous at points before, so we're going to ride with that. And then the third one, it's just me getting ballsy, brother. Stuart Skinner over 22.5 saves at plus 100. He's obviously coming off a 26 save S-word. That's right, I didn't want to say that.
Yeah.
And the Minnesota Wild just averaged right below 28 shots on goal per game. So I like the line of 23 saves there. Parlayed together, I believe this is plus 525. So you're getting some juice. I've been scared to get this juiced up for the last couple of weeks, but I get one W in my belt, and I'm immediately back to the well here trying to find some juice.
You'll be something else. But
which of those 3 bets do you like the most? Do you believe in that?
Well,
I'm parlaying them together. I'm betting them separately and parlay.
The parlay is telling the story that the Oilers are going likely to either win this game or be right in the mix and probably be in the type of game that is 3-3, 4-4, something like that. So what I would say, not that I'm a gambling expert, but if you're going to parlay things, try to understand what is the story of your parlay. What is the game flow that you want?
I'm trying to paint a picture with my imagination brush.
Yes, exactly. So, the Skinner, I actually like that the best because that still implies, he could allow 5 and still have 24.
I said they average 28 shots per game. I just need 23. He could still have a stinker, which we've seen before.
Are the Oilers going to put the buttons down on the Minnesota Wild? What is the way for the Oilers to win? Probably try to get them into a 4-3, a 5-3, a more of a higher scoring game. I don't anticipate a 2-1. Game.
For me, so actually, I guess this is a great segue. Brett, the God above as well. I'd like to get it from you. Your score prediction and anytime goal scorer. That's how we tend to close things out here. For me, for the Oilers would want to drag them into more of a game, more of a high scoring game, running a gun affair, but I just don't think that's in the Wild's MO. But I still keep coming back to it. Wallstead hasn't seen the Edmonton Oilers before, and this offense back on home ice, the power play at full strength. So for me, I'm going to say a 3-2 Edmonton Oilers victory that leans on the power play yet again. My anytime goal scorer, stay hot, guy. Leon Draisaitl. You know what? Fuck it. Scores on the power play as well. I like that. 4-3 or 3-2 for the Oilers. Leon goal. What about you? Score prediction, anytime goal scorer. And then, Brett, I want what's going on in your head. And you might have cooked up a spider.
Let's go 4-3 Wild in the shootout. I'll be the Debbie Downer. I think it was plus 320 for this game to be a tie in regulation. The Wild go to overtime and shoot a lot. We know the Oilers do. I could certainly see us going to extra time. I think if the Oilers can get into overtime, you'd like them to win that OT. If the Wild can survive, you'd like the Wild in the shootout. So
I don't hate that.
I have a sense that we might be getting some extra hockey. Maybe we get a Jack pulsating hockey type of
pulsating
Jack
down the stretch. They go.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. That's
I love a good pulsating. Yeah. He hasn't said it much over the last couple of weeks here, so
there hasn't been a lot of pulsating action.
Shockingly enough, now that I think about it, Brett, what about you? What's going on in that pretty head of yours?
Yeah, I also like the overtime call. I'm going to go 4-3 Oil in overtime, only because Jesper Wallsted's only losses so far in his NHL career have come in overtime. So,
got mistaken. Mexican 4-3 Oilers. Ryder 5-2 Oilers. Maynard 3-1 with an empty netter. Lance Oilers spank them 5-1 with the Pod Coles in goal. And then Backyard Burger says, "Leon me when you're not strong."
Some Bill Withers.
Come on now, baby. That'll do it for us on Pregaming with Bordzy. Menzies, I love you. I appreciate you.
I'm excited. We're only halfway through.
I'm excited for the evening we're going to have down here. Come on down to Dogpatch. We're here Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, all 3 games this week. So come on down, grab some good food, have a beer, have a stud or two with us, and let's watch the Edmonton Oilers catch a dub together. Programming note, ONAD, Oilersnation After Dark, will be going live right here on the ON YouTube channel at the conclusion of the hockey game, where Liam warned me. He said if the Oilers get spanked tonight, Menzies might be off the hook. He might be running wild, going crazy. I don't wish for that the Edmonton Oilers happens. But that could be a nice consolation.
The only times I ever tune into post games are after a blowout loss.
Of course.
And so, if that happens,
you're gonna be in your bag. This guy's gonna be in his bag.
I hope not. I don't want to.
We don't want that.
I don't like that side of me.
We can be way funnier if they get a good dominant victory tonight.
Yeah.
Then we can really start riffing and get in our bag.
Whose line is it anyway? 2.0 here. Aisha Tyler, sit down. We don't need her.
That'll do it for us on Pregaming with Bordzy. Throw down your courtesy like. Make sure you are subscribed to the ON YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the Sauce's YouTube channel as well. And then we will talk in a couple hours, hopefully breaking down an Edmonton Oilers victory. I love you all. I appreciate you all. And we will talk in a bit. Peace out.